What do you think your main message is? What's the main thing that you want to get across to the world?
My main message is to resist the slave mind. I say this all the time. To understand that every single thing you're being told has an agenda behind it, or you wouldn't be told it otherwise. To examine every strongly held belief you have and try and identify where it comes from and why you have it. I sit and argue with people, I discuss things with people, and they so fervently believe a point. And I say, why do you believe that so much? Like, do you have personal experience? No, but I saw the news. Why do you believe? The news told you X, and now you are desperate. You will sit here for hours arguing that point. A lot of people are completely empty vessels ready to be programmed. And I try and tell people, listen, to just stop for a second and understand that the things they're telling you to believe are not necessarily for your benefit. The people who make the rules don't make the rules for the benefit of everybody. They make the rules for the benefit of the people who make the rules.
Yeah.
It's the game. So telling people to resist a slave mind and just be critical thinkers, keep their brain open, pay attention to things, be perspicacious. That's the general theme. And it doesn't matter whether you're left, right, liberal, man, woman, etc. It's just think for yourself. That's the general message.
Talk to me about the Matrix. When you say the Matrix are out to get you and all this stuff, who is the Matrix?
Have you seen the movie The Matrix?
I actually haven't.
You've never seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh, bro, you got to watch it.
I imagine it's kind of like the Truman Show or...
Kinda. So basically in the Matrix, there's an artificial reality, a computer generated reality, and people are being harvested for their body heat in a real world, and their minds are being used, their minds are being occupied by this computer generated reality. And the basic premise of the show is that their body is being used for what is important, and they just distract their minds so that their body can stay alive long enough to give the machines what they want. And I really, truly believe that's a perfect analogy for the world today. We live in a world where people are being extracted for their value, their physical value, whether you're digging holes or carrying garbage or whatever. And your mind is constantly distracted by garbage. It's distracted by TV shows and concerts and clown world. I call it clown world because it's a never-ending circus. All this garbage they distract you with. First it's COVID, and then Putin cures COVID the day he invades and COVID's cured. And it's all just a big scam from head to toe. And the reason I call it the Matrix is because a false reality is being projected onto humanity, and they do that by controlling narratives. If they allowed people to have critical and open conversations about, let's say, COVID, at the height of the pandemic, it never would have lasted 3 years. But the reason, because they censor and delete one entire side of the argument, then you're only left with their version of reality, and they're projecting a reality. And they do that with nearly every subject. There are so many subjects you can't have an open discussion on. And if they delete all of one side and only keep one side there, then that's a false paradigm, it's a false reality, and that's what they're doing. And they're convincing people to act in certain ways and do certain things which are not necessarily in their best interest or necessarily true. We live in a world where I don't think the average person realizes how much they are lied to. From the way money works is a lie, financial system is a lie, judicial system is a lie, medical health care is a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Just go to work, pay your taxes. And that's why I call it the Matrix.
So what would you say the average person that's maybe, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm being controlled, maybe this isn't true, maybe that there's an agenda behind the mainstream media and the news and the government?
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, there is. I mean, this is the thing. You made a good point, because sometimes people say to me, well, maybe there is an agenda. What do you mean maybe? How can there maybe be an agenda behind the mainstream news? You're in charge of the world. You own the news. Are you going to tell the truth? If you had a bunch of slaves and a bunch of suckers working their asses off for pennies, are you going to tell them the truth? Would you?
I mean, I can't possibly imagine that situation.
Why the fuck would you tell them the truth? The truth? How does the truth benefit?
So what's their benefit then? They own everything. They own the newspapers, the media. What is the agenda of the Matrix?
The agenda is just narrative control.
Right.
The agenda is narrative control, and as long as they control a narrative, they can control the populace to do whatever they need them to do. It doesn't matter if they convince you to be afraid of the common cold and stay in your house and destroy your own business and not see your own fucking grandmother for 2 years. It doesn't matter if they convince you that the planet's setting on fire and global warming is real, and now for some reason if they tax you, it'll fix it. It doesn't matter what it is. They create a narrative. They prevent people from talking the counter to that narrative. They now own reality. You change all the Google search results. Everything online says a certain thing must be true. And then you weaponize it for your own benefit, whether it's higher tax rates or more control over our movement or giving people's freedoms away, etc. The world used to be based on freedom, especially in the Western world. During communism, etc., the Western world used to stand up and say, the difference between us and the communists is that we're free. You live in this country, it's a free country. It's a free country. But that's not the truth anymore. So now that everyone's starting to slowly understand it's not a free country. You have to replace the freedom with something else. And the only thing that humanity will accept in return for freedom is safety. So they say, listen, you're no longer free. You can no longer say what you want to say or go where you want to go or do what you want to do. You can't go outside for this 3 years. You can't do that. You can't drive that car because of fucking the polar ice caps, whatever it is. But don't worry, it's for your safety. We're going to keep you safe. And that's what it is. It's all a big fucking scam. It's a lie. The people in charge of the world don't give a shit about our safety. If something bad happened to you, heaven forbid, let's say me. Let's say I got a terrible disease. Let's say I got cancer and I went to the NHS. I'd be waiting fucking months to get anything done. But then they want to text me 4 times a day, begging me to take an injection. And that's for my own good. It's bullshit. It's a scam. It's a fucking scam. Head to toe, all of it's a scam. And I was walking to college with a couple of my friends, and a Ferrari drove past. And I said, bro, you see that? And he goes, yeah, what about it? I said, doesn't that piss you off? I must be about 16. He goes, why? So this dude has 400 G's for a car, 400 grand. I'm walking 4 miles to college because my mom hasn't got any car. He has 400 grand. Do you think he works a job? Do you think he's fucking behind a counter somewhere? He knows something about the world that I don't know.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he's rich. I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't say he wasn't rich, dummy. I'm saying he knows something about the world I don't know. And I was intrigued and it angered me. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I was pissed off. Every time I saw somebody with genuine money, I understood that everything I was being told and taught and they were trying to make me believe just simply wasn't true. I was like, this is bullshit. None of these people are getting these things by following the path that the system is trying to make me follow. Yeah. Nobody, and everybody intrinsically knows this. If you go to if you're at a BP, you're at a petrol station, and I pull up in my Lamborghini, nobody goes, wow, he went to school. Yeah. He studied hard.
Right.
Do they fuck? They're like drug dealer, gangster. And they do that because they know that the easiest way to amass wealth is to break the rules, because the rules are not designed to allow most people to make money. You can make money within the rules, of course you can, but most people don't. Most people who follow the path work, consume, die. That's it.
Yeah.
So I always knew the same thing as you, and I knew there had to be another way. I knew that just working for money was a paradigm that wasn't true. And then you understand making your money work for you, and you understand delinking your time from money. Yeah. You start learning to understand these things, but eventually you build a system, and you build an ecosystem like me. I have 60 or 70 people work for me all around the world. And things just happen and money just kind of appears as long as everything's well organized.
Do you think that it's kind of becoming more well known though, entrepreneurship and how to get into business now than it was say 10, 20 years ago?
It's certainly easier to make money now than ever before.
I think so.
Oh, it's easier than ever before to make money. I meet so many fucking 17-year-olds, 19-year-olds, kids with an e-com store or some crypto garbage to make quick, fast money now is almost easier than it's ever been. Now, that has advantages and disadvantages. I was talking to a young guy the other day, and he was 22, I think, and he caught a crypto pump. He made like $4 million in the last bull run, and now all the coins have gone down, whatever. He sold some. He has like $1.5 million. He's like, oh yeah, so I'm waiting for the next pump. I was like, bro, the problem with you is you've now been ruined for life because you're 22, you made easy money, and you think that you don't have to ever do any serious work. You also have no skill. The problem is with the crypto pump, it doesn't teach you anything. He didn't learn sales, marketing, staff management, stress tolerance.
You need that.
Nothing. He doesn't know how to do anything. So he's just sitting there just gambling on shit coins, waiting for the next one to pump. And he's 22, and his ass is never going to want to get a real job, and he doesn't have any skills. So I think he's in a lot of trouble, truthfully. And I made this clear to him. So it can be a detrimental thing. It can be a bad thing. But in terms of making money, it's certainly easier than it's ever been because we live in a global marketplace now. You can reach the world, and all you have to do is have a message worth making people listen to.